This is the emergency alert system. The following message is transmitted at the request of local authorities in Aroostook County, Maine. Residents of Limestone, Caribou, Fort Fairfield, Van Buren, and surrounding areas are advised that the emergency situation reported earlier continues to persist as of 3:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 4th. Residents must remain indoors and ensure all doors and windows are locked. Recent reports suggest that the emergency may involve a hazardous airborne agent, which may be contributing to violent behavior in animals and humans. Seal all openings, including windows and vents, using tape or plastic sheeting to prevent exposure to outside air. Avoid using air conditioning or heating systems that draw in outside air. Keep communication devices charged and nearby for further updates. Authorities are actively working to identify the source and nature of this emergency. An all-clear signal will be issued once it is safe to resume normal activities. Please remain on this station for ongoing updates. This message will repeat. The eeriness of this second alert left me more determined than ever to find out what is going on. Thing is, everyone in the great state of Maine already knows about these broadcasts. They've been happening at random for over 2 decades. But why in the world has nobody been able to solve this? Or seems to even remotely care for that matter? 20 plus years later, nothing. Nada. Zip. The first couple days or so after the broadcasts began, people were genuinely frightened. Some took the warning seriously, like my parents, for instance, locking themselves in their homes, sealing windows, and waiting for the all clear that came the next morning. But as the weeks went by and no real emergency ever unfolded, the community grew indifferent. Years later, the broadcasts became part of the county's folklore, discussed with a mix of fascination and amusement. Kids would dare each other to stay up and listen, hoping to catch the broadcasts live. Parents would tell their stories of the event at family gatherings, a cautionary tale that had lost its sting over time. I've asked around, both officially and unofficially, but no one has any answers. Our parents' generation seems to remember the first few broadcasts causing a stir, but everyone's settled into a collective state of apathy. It's as if the entire valley has just accepted this anomaly as part of our lives. But I can't. I need to know what's happening. What happened that day? My obsession with the anomaly has driven me to the point where it's all I can think about sometimes. It's as if these broadcasts come from nowhere and disappear into thin air. Sometimes it's the second alert, other times it's the first. It's completely random, and no one has been able to notice any sort of pattern. One night, while I was working in the studio after a rare airing, happened to be the first alert this time, a regular listener called in. He claimed to remember something odd from the late 90s, a night when the air felt thick and a strange smell lingered. He couldn't recall any specific details, but his recollection was enough to send chills down my spine. He was curious to know if anyone had a similar experience back then. At radio and television stations like the one where I worked, the emergency alert system, EAS, operates independently of our control, relying entirely on external automation. The EAS encoder/decoder devices are designed to receive alerts from authorized agencies, such as the National Weather Service or FEMA, automatically interrupting our regular programming to broadcast emergency messages without any human intervention. It's basically intended to ensure that urgent information reaches the public swiftly and efficiently. Yet, the persistent broadcasts have baffled both the Valley and its local authorities for years. Despite our reported inquiries, FEMA insists that they have no clue what these unauthorized messages are and claim they have no knowledge of their origin. The situation has raised concerns about public safety, prompting local authorities to reach out to the FBI for an investigation. However, the FBI reportedly declined, further leaving us in the dark, though the expected refusal had only intensified my speculation. Mind you, this was only 6 months ago. My goal is to solve this mystery, not only to understand the source of these unexplained events, but also to uncover any hidden truths that might be behind them. The dismissive stance of the FBI and the lack of clarity from official channels have only fueled my resolve to dig deeper. With no clear leads from the authorities, I'm left to rely on my own investigation, determined to piece together this puzzle and bring clarity to this ongoing whatever this is. I've considered all sorts of possibilities: government experiments, supernatural occurrences, mass hallucinations, hysteria. Each theory seems more and more far fetched than the last. But in a world where the impossible sometimes happens, who's to say what's too crazy to believe? I've spent countless hours looking for similar cases, looking for any pattern or connection that could explain our predicament, for lack of a better word. I've searched internet forums, nothing even remotely close. I've even reached out to experts in various fields: psychologists, historians, conspiracy theorists, but no one has been able to provide a satisfactory explanation. There are some nights I can barely sleep, my mind racing with possibilities and theories. I've considered the idea of mass hypnosis or some sort of conditioning where an entire community is conditioned to forget certain events. It sounds far-fetched, but the more I think about it, the less I'm willing to dismiss any possibilities. What if those initial broadcasts were part of an experiment and we were the unwitting subjects? Or what if I'm just crazy and this somehow was some sort of error? I've even considered setting up recording equipment to capture the broadcasts in real time, in case there are subtle nuances or hidden messages that we haven't noticed. That might be a good idea, actually. I'll keep you all updated on that. It's just hard with how infrequently they occur. Nor do I think my boss would appreciate that, in all honesty. My obsession has taken a toll on my personal life as well. Friends and family have grown concerned about my fixation on the long since past event. They tell me to let it go, to move on and accept that some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved. But I can't shake the feeling that there's something important here, something that needs to be uncovered. One theory that keeps nagging at me is the possibility of a cover-up. What if the initial panic in 2002 was justified, and the follow-up broadcast claiming it was a mistake was part of an effort to keep us in the dark? What if there was an actual emergency, and those in charge have been suppressing the truth ever since? The thought sends shivers down my spine, but it's a possibility I can't ignore. So, I'm turning to you, the people of the internet. Have any of you experienced anything at all similar in your area? Do you have any theories about what could be causing these broadcasts? And more importantly, how can I go about uncovering more info? I am desperate for answers and willing to try anything at this point. Whether it's similar experiences from your own lives, wild theories, or practical advice on how to investigate further, I'm all ears. My investigation isn't just a hobby, it's become my life's mission. I have dedicated myself to uncovering and solving this mystery. I have pored over countless hours of radio logs, scoured newspaper archives, and conducted interviews with anyone who might have a piece of the puzzle. And nothing. I know this sounds like some random idiot on the web delving into madness, but I assure you, there has to be something here. Something that doesn't just happen on accident. It simply makes zero sense. These broadcasts have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and I won't rest until I've uncovered their secret. So, if any of you have any information, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem, please share it. Together, we might be able to solve this mystery and finally bring some peace to our haunted community. And my stupid brain. Stay safe. This story comes from the subreddit ScaryStories by perrydean_writes.